Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Richland Center. Ken Manning, Western Wisconsin Video Productions. Along to my left-hand side, good friend Chuck Rasmussen, as we're getting ready to begin the 58th annual, I didn't realize that, Richland Center High School Wrestling Tournament, Chuck.
Yeah, just talking to Bill Twining there, he said it's one of the oldest. Maybe DC Everest has one that's a little bit older, but they said they patterned this one after that. So, yep, it's been a long time.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, schools here today: Baraboo, Belmont Platteville, Boscobel, Cashton, Cochrane Fountain City, Gale, Ettrick, Trempealeau, Hillsboro, Monroe, Reedsburg, Richland Center, River Ridge, River Valley, Riverdale, Tomah, Westby, and Weston, Ithaca. Good lineup.
It is, and Chuck, it's been a while since River Valley has been back. Nice to see them on their return.
Yeah, they were here a few years ago, but then went somewhere else.
Well, I think they went to the Badger, which is being wrestled down in Madison.
Madison, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Viroqua goes down there, and I'm pretty sure River Valley was there those previous years, but here they are back to Richland Center, so that's great to see.
Yeah, and is that the one that Stoughton hosts?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
That's going to be at the Dane County Coliseum this year.
I believe so, yeah.
So they changed the venue there, so that'd be really nice spectator-wise, too. So.
Uh-huh. I thought I'd heard that there was a change in the atmosphere, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, looking at today's lineup with those teams, boy, I tell you what, you've got some good ones with Tomah, GT, Melmin. They've always been solid. They've been a state tournament team-wise for a couple years.
Yep.
Ithaca Weston has a great bunch this year for a small school, and Baraboo, another solid, turnout with their wrestlers. So it's going to be kind of a interesting play of the field to see how things kind of filter out.
Yes, it should be. As you said, there's some very good teams here too, and it'll be interesting. You got. Do we have any Division I teams here? Baraboo would be Division I.
Baraboo would be Division I, right? Yeah. And back we come here, and we're going to, Chuck, I was kind of thinking a little bit earlier when you said it's the 58th annual, and I'm trying to remember, when we were coaching together, we were wrestling, and, we had our team Lancaster in this, and then, I don't know, for probably, 4 or 5 years, maybe a little more, and now we're back, and I'm trying to remember how many years we've been doing this live and stuff, so it's probably been at least 10. Yeah. So how many years do you think we've been doing this?
Well, I've been, this is my 16th year away from head coaching.
No way.
Yeah,
wow.
16, so probably close to that.
Yeah.
And I talking to a couple people beforehand, they said, Lancaster, we used to be here then too, but You know, it got to the point where we were wrestling in a dual meet.
Yeah.
We were wrestling in the Invitational. We were wrestling at the bi-state tournament. One more would be great.
Oh. Thank you.
Dave.
No, I think we'll be good.
I'll be the.
I think so. Thanks much. Okay. Well, yeah, it got to be then, bi-state, like you said, then regional.
Yeah. And the
Conference.
And the conference.
That's right. It was like 6 or 7 times.
It was like 6 times that we'd wrestled that one year, and it's like, well, we don't need to do this. We'll go somewhere else.
I remember Fuzz McCauley, the coach at that time, he come up to me and he goes, I have something to ask you. And I said, well, I have something to ask you, but you go first. It's your tournament. And we were talking about that. And I started laughing. I'm like, Fuzz, I was thinking the same thing, that maybe we need to go find another tournament. I like you guys a lot, but I get tired of seeing you.
All right, Ken, we're underway here now, and we got matches, it looks like, at 106 pounds and one at 126 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, let's see what we can come up with here. On the screen, folks, mats 1 and 2 are the top half, and that's going to be the side for Chuck.
All
I've
right.
got the bottom half, 3 and 4, and I can move mine a little bit. Chuck, you could move number 1 if you wanted to, but that's right off there to your left.
all right.
But you don't have to. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, yep, it looks like it's all right now.
And we got a pinning situation coming up here on mat number 3, the lower left, and there is the pin at 106 pounds. That's a Westby Norseman out there on the mat. Let's take a look and see who that was. That was Jaden Geyer coming up with the pin over Owen Bedward, two freshmen out there. Geyer will pick up the win here for Westby.
And on mat number 2, the orange mat, that is Francis Hurley from Boscobel and Jaden Johnson from River Valley. A little injury time, blood time, so they're tending to Hurley, and they'll get back at it here in just a second. Both of those two wrestlers there are juniors. Top seed at 106 pounds goes to Trainer Curtin from Reedsburg. And we don't have any matches at 113, so I'll just tell you the top seed there. Get to it here. It's Brock Hoskins from Westby. And at 120 pounds, it's Brogan Middlestad from Reedsburg. That's the top seeds at 6, 13, and 120.
I want to give Coach Rob Kerner a little bit of a hard time. It seems like Brock Hoskins has been on the 5 or 6 year plan.
Oh.
he's been around a long time, but he's consistently been on that varsity. So over on mat number 4, the bottom right, we've got a match going on, as Chuck said. That one is at 126 pounds. And let's just see if we can motor over to the sheet here. Yeah, it looks like it's another Westby Norseman out there on the mat. And we'll take a look. That is Blake Hansen coming in as a junior, wrestling Braden Prochaska from River Valley. Both of these wrestlers are juniors. Right now it's a 2-0 lead here. And it looks like Hansen has the advantage right now. He's out from the bottom trying to get away. He will pick up the escape and now leads 3-0.
And Jaden Johnson from River Valley is ahead of Boscobel's Francis Hurley. Score 11-2. Just coming to the conclusion of the first period. It's going to be more than 11-2. It'll be 14-2.
On mat 3, the lower left, we have Abraham Harder from Cash, and he's a sophomore, taking on Nolan I'm thinking that's Kevazaz from Baraboo, a sophomore. And the winner of this match will take on the number 2 seed, Casey Layton from Riverdale. As they continue the battle, right now it's Harder with a 2-0 lead.
And on mat number 1, it was Belmont Platteville's Lucas Taylor getting defeated by Tarek Fry from GET at 106 pounds by fall. 16-2 the score between Johnson and Hurley. And there's a 3 near fall, and it will be a tech fall, 19-2 for Johnson.
Well, 132, that lower left side, we did wind up with a pin as, excuse me, Harder from Cashton picks up the victory. That pin time looks like it was about 1:21. He'll get the win, and he'll face Layton from Riverdale a little bit later here this morning.
First round, kind of hit and miss as far as weights. You'll see wrestling here, so we'll be skipping around. We got 106, 132, 138, 126. So it's a challenge for us too, is to try to find everything on the brackets. We'll do the best that we can.
It helps a lot when the guys on the score tables when they can get the weight class up on that scoreboard.
Then we just got to try to identify the singlets so we can identify the teams.
Over on mat number 4, where Blake Hansen is wrestling, that again is at 126. His lead is now 5-2, a minute and a half remaining in that match. They are in the third period.
Talk about singlets. I had a match the other night as Lancaster wrestling against MFL Marmac.
Oh, wow.
And the MFL Marmac has singlets just like we used to have with the yellow on the back and the blue singlets and all that.
Yep.
And you remember Andy Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
His son is wrestling for Lancaster. And it was first minute, and all of a sudden I looked down, looked back up, and we got blue on top of white. And I was calling for our guy looking to get the pin, and I was exactly wrong. It was the other way around. I didn't recognize that. I just took the blue and gold singlet.
Oh, boy.
But
okay. 6-4 score down in that lower right corner of the screen with Westby in Hansen. He's out in front by that 2 points, but I tell you what, he's got a match on his hands. Now he's going to get the takedown, and he'll lead 8-4 with 30 seconds remaining in that match. So
on mat number 2, the orange mat, Braden Freestone from Weston Ithaca, a 2-5 sophomore. He's wrestling against Devin Krieger from River Valley, a 1-2 freshman.
Well, 138, we wind up with a pin. And let's see if we can take a look here. That was Reedsburg at 138. And let's see if we can find out who that was. That was Caden Schneider of Reedsburg picking up the victory.
On the upper left-hand corner of your screen, that's at 126 pounds, Caleb Klinkner from Cashton and Camden Schultz from Baraboo.
Well, Hansen is going to pick up the victory on mat 4 at 126 pounds. Final score is going to read 8-5 as he hangs on for that win. Again, at 126, he will move into the quarterfinals. And his opponent is going to be the top seed in Trenton Curtin from Reedsburg.
132 pounds, it was Devin Krieger from River Valley picking up the fall over Braden Freestone. Krieger is going to face off against the top seed at 132, and that's Gavin Finch from Toma in the quarterfinals. These are preliminary matches.
Well, take a look, just as a FYI for folks, unfortunately, not able to get it on channel 14 today. Instead, it's going to go to the Cashton School channel. I know there's going to be a lot of people in this area that's not going to be able to watch it, and I apologize for that. You can go to twitch.tv/WWVP LLC. And apologies for that. I'm not sure what happened, but I just got the text from Vernon Communications, something odd taking place.
On mat number 2, the orange mat, we have a pin in 31 seconds. And that is Philip Volz from Hillsborough with the pin over Luke Turkington from Baraboo. So Vols moves on. He'll wrestle against Trevin Thielman from Richland Center in the quarterfinals.
Well, at 132 pounds down on mat 4, let's take a look and see who is, it's the GET Mel Min, 132, and that means it's Jackson Blaken, and his opponent is Irving Novacek from Hillsborough. And that's a 4-0 lead for Blaken. And on mat number 3, just saw a nice little takedown maneuver there, a little fireman's, kind of a dump situation. That's a wrestler from Toma. That's at 145.
Upper left of your screen, it's Nick Stitzer from Riverdale and Cole White from River Valley. Go ahead, Ken, sorry.
No, that's okay. That was Caleb Rose, a freshman from Toma, taking on Ryan Holtz from Monroe.
And coming up on mat number 2 at 152 pounds. We've had a lot of River Valley wrestlers that were here on mats 1 and 2 so far. That will be Hunter Olive from River Valley. He's wrestling against Colin Niederkorn from GET. That's on mat number 2, the upper right of your screen. Top seed at 145 pounds was Connor Gorski from Baraboo, and the top seed 152 is Brady Shue from Monroe. And top seed at 160 is Trevor Templin from Weston Ithaca. We got wrestling on mat number 1 at 138, mat number 2 at 152, mat number 3 at 145, and mat number 4 at 132.
Well, we're winding up with a pin over on mat 4. That is GT Melmin picking up the victory. Blaken will move on as he defeats Novacek. His opponent will be Carter Spenceley from Belmont Platteville, the number 2 seed, coming up in the next round. thanks to some of those sponsors, should maybe just run through real quick and mention right here in Richland Center, Advanced Pump and Well Solutions, Larry and Shelley Ferguson, wishing the best to all the teams. Ash Creek Plumbing, Heating, and Electric, thanks to Dale and that crew out here on Highway 14. And Badger Flooring, Jamie and Amy Gander, wishing all the best to the area teams. Appreciate their support. Stop in there. Belmont Platteville Wrestling Club, will be watching some of their wrestlers take on the opponents. And a reminder, they do have a tournament coming up on Sunday, a youth tournament, Sunday, January 16th at the Belmont High School Gymnasium. And one final one as we turn the page, thanks to the Cashton Wrestling Club for their help. They usually have their tournament in March. So we'll keep you posted on that, let you know when the bi-state comes around.
On mat number 2, Hunter Olaf from River Valley is trailing 2-0 to Colin Niederkorn from GET. Last few seconds of the first period. And on mat number 1, the score is 4-3. Just started the second period. And what you know here is they get the man with the red leg band. That's the fellow from Riverdale at 138. Get back to it. Stitzer leading 4-3 over White from River Valley. 38, just glancing at it, looks like a pretty solid weight class.
Well, Tanner Anderson, I can remember when he was just a freshman wrestling at 106, and here he is up at 138 now. We got a pin over on mat 4, GET Melmin. I think one of the team favorites at 145 is going to pick up a win. And opponent was Eli Muckler from Richland Center. That was Hayden Fry from GET Melmin.
Well, and Niederkorn from GET is ahead 4-0 now over Olaf from River Valley.
Well, Fry is going to have to tackle Connor Gorski from Baraboo in the next round. That's the top seed, so he'll have his hands full there. But you try to get the wins and the pins as much as you can, whenever you can.
You get beat this first round, you can wrestle all the way back to 5th, I believe it is, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yep.
They don't wrestle all the way back to 3rd because they would not have enough.
Too many matches.
Too many
in a
matches,
day.
right? 5 matches is what you can have. Well, they've already bumped all the way up to 220 pounds on mat number 4 here, Chuck. So that's quite the quite the jump. As let's see, we have Toma. Let's see if I can get to that real quick. 220. That is going to be Carter Habik, a sophomore, taking on Jacob Bindle, a senior from River Valley.
Well, I got 220 over here on mat number 2 also. Young man from Boscoville, it looks like. Let me find it here. And is finding himself on his back. That's Wyatt Anderson. Lockington comes up with a fall in 14 seconds. Lockington from GET.
At 152, mat number 3, it's the lower left corner here. It's Toma. I thought I had that one before, but I might not have. I did not. That is Vincent Tikkanen from, or Tikkanen.
Tikkanen.
Okay, yep. From Baraboo, taking on Blaine Booker from Toma. Senior and a freshman. Tikkanen is the senior.
All right, coming up next on mat number 2, it's going to be Austin Fox from Monroe. He's going to be wrestling against Ethan Novacek from Hillsborough. That's next on the orange mat in the upper right-hand part of your screen. 5-5 on the upper left-hand part of your screen. That's back yet at 138 pounds between the River Valley wrestler and I believe the Riverdale wrestler at 138. That's White from River Valley and Stitzer from Riverdale, 5-5. Now it's 8-5. And that is White with the advantage, 8-5 with 1:25 to go in the third period. Pin there on mat number 3. It's tied up at 4-4. At that time, it's the Toma wrestler coming up with a fall.
Toma won that one?
I believe so.
Okay. That was a freshman then. And Booker.
On mat number 2, Novacek with a lead of 3-2 at the 48-second mark of the first period. That's at 220 pounds. He's wrestling against Austin Fox from Monroe.
Well, we're going to drop back down to weight or class or 2 or 3 here, Chuck, at 170 pounds. It's going to be GT Milmin stepping out onto the mat. Alex Razorek from GT is taking on Sam Schultz, or Schutz, I guess it is, from CFC.
On mat number 1, Levi Worley from River Ridge wrestling against Abraham Henderson from Cochran Fountain City. Both wrestlers at 0-0 on the season. And the 220-pound weight class, that's going to be a fall for Novacek from Hillsboro. Hope I remember the name right so I get back to the right page. Yep.
£220 on mat 4. We got a pinning combination going on here. Bendel from River Valley is going to pick up the win. There's the pin, and so he will move on. Let's see if get to that page real quick here and take a look at who that opponent will be. Bendel will take on the top seed in Tig Perkins from Richland Center. Again, that'll be in the quarterfinals. So Bendel with the win. And they're going to go to 285 pounds on mat number 4, Austin Culpet comes out onto the mat. He is going to be wrestling GET Mel Min. And let's see, that is going to be Thomas Haney. Both these wrestlers are juniors. Culprit last year was in the sectionals, missing out on a state tournament trip there. That was a 285 last year was a pretty tough weight class. I don't think it's going to change any again.
No, getting some very accomplished wrestlers at that weight class too. You know, it taken a few years, but boy, you know, the way these kids work out, a lot of them in high school now in the weight room and other things. There's some very, very good boys at the 285.
Right.
220 is another one that seems like, boy, you get some studs there.
Culpit's going to do a little slide by here, and he's going to pick up the, well, not quite yet. He didn't really get fully behind, so no points. He had a chance for the takedown, but he did not get it. He didn't quite get around behind and secure the move.
On mat number 1 at 6'2", Henderson from Cochran Fountain City ahead of Levi Worley from River Ridge. That's going to be starting the second period.
We're going to look at 170 pounds here in just a moment. As out here on mat 3 at CFC in Missouri, and I think it's Schutz from CFC in Missouri from GET, and right now it's 2-0 in favor of. It's going to be CFC.
All right. Well, mat number 2 is clear, and I think that's because the way track wrestling sets things up, they had them on deck and in the hole. And there was a couple quick pins, so that might be the end of this first round, the preliminaries, with the exception of the matches that are on right now, and maybe another one that would be in the hole too. So
they probably want to get everything caught up, so then it's an even progression.
Yeah.
Well, that gives me a chance that I'm going to do this. I'm going to move to 2 here. We're going to show you the some of our fine sponsors here once we get it up and running. There we go.
Henderson still ahead of Worley, 6'2", with under a minute to go in the second period. That's on mat number 1, upper left of your screen.
Culprit still, he did get the takedown now and has a 2-0 lead.
Henderson able to come up with a pin with a time of 3:51 over Worley from River Ridge. So Henderson will move on, and he'll be going against the top seed at 160, Trevor Kemple from Western Ithaca in the quarterfinals.
Well, we wound up with a pin over on mat number 4. And coming from behind, Haney of GT Melmin picks up the pin. And he'll move on. Chuck, I'm going to turn this down just for a second. I got to check something. All right. I'll just...
On mat number 1, upper left of your screen, which is 285-pound division, Denver Hill from Hillsboro, a senior with a record of 3-2. He's wrestling against Bruce Buckles from Richland Center, a junior at 1-0. That's on the upper left-hand part of your screen.
Well, we're back wrestling on mat 2, so we're going to get us back up and running there. There we go.
All right, that must be a quarterfinal match. I have to get papers turned here. That's Toma and Monroe. Okay, that's Garrett Minder from Monroe. A freshman with a record of 5-4. He's wrestling against Austin Gray from Toma, a sophomore with a record of 3-2. And it's Gray with the early lead, 2-0. That's at 106 pounds. And then on mat number 1, upper left, that's 285 pounds. So we got him spread out pretty well here, about as far as you can get him, I guess. Back and forth movement on that mat number 1 there. It's Hill and Buckles tied up at 2-2.
We got another 285-pound match going on mat number 4. And that should be River Valley and Brett Bendel. He's a junior taking on Owen Callahan, River Ridge. Right now, a half Nelson being applied by Bendel. And looks like he is about ready to get the pin. There it is.
Buckles and Hill will go into the second period tied 2-2. And mat number 2, it's 2-0 at the end of the first period. And that is Austin Gray with the advantage over Minder from Monroe. Gray from Toma.
Century 21, that's Paul and Chris Brenninger. The family wishing all the best to the area teams today. Checkered flag out of Reedsburg supporting today's broadcast. Appreciate Tim and Brenda and their support. Community First Bank, thanks to Aaron Ewing and the crew over there at Community First Bank right here in Richland Center. Coon Valley Telecommunications, you're watching for the folks down in that area. They can get Channel 2. Culvers of Richland Center, that's Melissa. And Dairyland Transportation, Joe Hall. Appreciate all their support.
It was Buckles up quickly for an escape. Now there's a time, it looks like there's going to be a technical violation called here. The coaches from Hillsboro not agreeing with it. But we've got a young fella officiating there. And again, these guys got to get broke in too.
Yep.
And, we just hope that, and not this match in particular, but all the coaches and the fans recognize that too. This sport of wrestling, not the only one that's having difficulties getting officials. There needs to be some thought given to how you act as a spectator and how you act sometimes as a coach too. I mean, you have,
Yep.
as a coach, you have the right to defend your wrestler and talk to the official, but you have to do it nicely too.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about class.
Yep. Yep. Makes a lot of difference. We're 4-4 in that 285-pound match, and I believe it ended up in a fall on the 106-pound match, and that fall goes to Gray from Toma. He'll be in the semifinals.
I was just taking a look at, I think that was 106 pounds. It was Ithaca, I thought it was an Ithaca Weston wrestler, but I might have been off on that a little bit. Maybe it was up a weight class. So I'm trying to check on that right now. Might have been, yeah, it was. It was Lewis of Ithaca Weston, and he lost out to Cade Parrish of Reedsburg. Parrish coming away with the pin.
And we got them spread all out again too. It's 285 on mats 1 and 3. 113 on mat 2 and 120 on mat 4.
Taking a look on mat 3, this is Belmont Platteville, who is out on the mat, and looks like his opponent, is that a Reedsburg wrestler?
Yeah, Zach Weber from Reedsburg and
Okay.
Porter Monderano from Belmont Platteville. Monderano with a toss and pinning combination.
You've probably seen him already, huh?
I've not seen him yet this year, but he's
Okay.
not too bad. Comes up with a fall in 24 seconds.
I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah, we've watched him through the middle school program and then on up through the high school.
Sure. And he is in that upper half. He's going to have to wrestle Kane Groom of Boscobel, who is the number 4 seed. That'll come up a little bit later here. So just finishing up some of those preliminary matches, and we're going right into the quarters.
We're still at the 285-pound match over on mat number 1. The score there now is 5-4 in favor of Buckles from Richland Center over Hill from Hillsboro. See if I got that correct. Singlets are kind of similar.